Collaborative learning is a pedagogical configuration that involves groups of learners working together to solve problems or to create shared outcomes. In formal education, it plays a crucial role in fostering engagement, trust, and mutual responsibility. Similar values are essential to horizontal governance supply chains in need of traceability. Here, we explore the Slow Food Coffee Coalition, a case of horizontal governance which exemplifies a transformative model from a local to a global coffee supply chain. Launched in 2021 by Slow Food International and the Lavazza Foundation, the coalition is a network that aims to promote high-quality, fair, and sustainable coffee, emphasizing collaboration throughout the coffee value chain. It connects producers, roasters, baristas, and consumers through a participatory approach to learning. The Slow Food Coffee Coalition represents a powerful convergence of tradition and innovation. On the one hand, it draws on Slow Food's long-standing commitment to supporting biodiversity and local cultures. On the other hand, it embraces cutting-edge technologies like blockchain, which allows every step of the coffee production process to be recorded in a secure decentralized ledger. Another key technological tool is the use of QR codes, which enable consumers to access detailed information about the coffee's origin, production methods, and the people behind its cultivation. In addition to being a dynamic network, the Slow Food Coffee Coalition operates as a brand. Roasters who buy their coffee from PGS Slow Food communities are allowed to use the red snail logo in their coffee packing. At the heart of it all is the Participatory Guarantee System, PGS, a certification scheme which empowers small-scale farmers, allowing them to actively shape the standards of quality, sustainability, and fairness in the coffee industry. The PGS is unique in that it has no cost for small-scale farmers, unlike all types of third-party certification. It is based on mutual trust, transparency, and peer review within the community, allowing partners to collectively ensure that the coffee meets the standards of quality of the slow food movement. In a world where trust in supply chains is often fragile, the coalition offers a hopeful vision for the future, leading the way in transforming how we produce and consume coffee. This vision can be traced back to 2002, when the first Coffee Slow Food Presidium was set up, in the Huehuetenango highland of Guatemala. We propose that, recovering this trajectory through stories of collaborative learning between protagonists in a slow food coffee supply chain, constitutes an interesting way to catch a glimpse of a hopeful vision, where every cup tells a story. Stories of collaborative learning, within the family, among members of a slow food presidium, among members of a slow food network, and among potential partners in a global value chain. Our argument is enriched with a series of 4 short DIY pedagogical videos, which illustrate how the Slow Food Coffee Coalition emerged as a case of collaborative learning. Here follows the 4 episodes. Characters and their stories are fictional.
In a distant mountainous region of Huehuetenango, Guatemala, a small coffee farm fights to thrive, keeping their product out of extinction. As a slow food presidium since 2002, the farm is run by Carmen's family, who cultivates sustainable coffee for generations. The spirit of collaboration and mutual learning drives the internal dynamics of the family. Having signed a production protocol with Slow Food, Carmen concentrates efforts to improve the coffee quality and promote it in the local market under the snail logo. One day, in 2004, Carmen receives a letter from Porza Cafe, a social cooperative in Turin, Italy that shares her family values. Porza Cafe is dedicated to promoting fair trade and supporting communities through their coffee roasting business. The cooperative is interested in coffee that not only tastes exceptional, but also tells the story of its origins from farm to the cup. Carmen is intrigued by the idea of partnering with a company that values not just the product, but also the people and traditions behind it. She invites representatives from Porza Cafe to visit her farm, and a few weeks later, Luca, a roaster and one of the cooperative's founding members, arrives in Huehuetenango. Luca is struck by the beauty of the Arabica coffee, grown under the shade of native trees, and by the agroecological wisdom of Carmen and her family. They spend days together, exchanging stories and learning about each other's work, building a foundation of trust and mutual respect. Luca has the unique experience of learning directly from indigenous farmers the secrets to quality organic, agroecological coffee. And Carmen is surprised to learn that her family's coffee would be supporting the social inclusion of prison roasting apprentices. But will Huehuetenango coffee meet the expectations of Italian roasters to create a product capable of expressing its story in a cup of coffee? In the heart of Turin, the cozy building of Porza Cafe is filled with the rich aroma of freshly roasted beans. Carmen's first shipment of green coffee beans has just arrived. Luca's eyes glow with excitement as he unwraps the first batch of Arabica green coffee beans from Guatemala. The team of roasters around the table is curious. Luca recounts watching the harvest in Guatemala, where each berry, cultivated under the shade of trees, is picked one by one with patience and respect. The beans are extracted with a gentle fermentation, he says. No more than 4 hours after harvest and dried under the sun, constantly turned by hand with a rake. The team at Porza Cafe is determined to create a roast profile that honors the essence of Huehuetenango's terroir. They try 3 profiles, light, medium and dark, to see how the roasting time and temperature interact with these beans, ensuring the natural flavors shine through. The light roast brings out bright, citrusy notes, a reflection of Huehuetenango's high-altitude cultivation, while the medium roast reveals a balance of fruit and chocolate. The dark roast adds a layer of deep caramelization without sacrificing the beans' inherent complexity, each profile capturing the landscape and the people behind the coffee. Porza Cafe's vision doesn't end with the coffee. Luca plans to return to Huehuetenango with a film crew to document the entire coffee production process. This isn't just about selling coffee, he says. It's about telling a story of a partnership between Huehuetenango farmers and Italian roasters. The film is going to be used in a marketing campaign, showcasing the care and dedication that goes into every cup of coffee. Part of the profits from the new coffee line is going to be reinvested back into Carmen's community, funding collaborative learning initiatives that empower local farmers. With every sip, consumers are reminded that this specialty coffee isn't just a product. It's a bridge between worlds, a collaboration that truly matters. The streets of Turin, Italy, come alive as Salone del Gusto and Terramada 2012 open their doors. Carmen, a small-scale coffee farmer from the misty highlands of Huehuetenango, Guatemala, walks through the colorful stalls. She meets a group of small-scale coffee farmers who, like her, have signed a production protocol for the Slow Food Presidium coffee brand. Her eyes reflect both pride and curiosity. Among them, a Leo from Honduras brings a few beans infused by his region's deep volcanic soil. Amina, from Ethiopia, holds the ancient planting secrets of the wild Arabica beans. Shukil, from Mozambique, holds his prized harvest, resilient to the whims of drought. From São Tomé and Príncipe, Jose brings Robusta beans, infused with the scent of tropical forests. They stand together, eager to understand the global landscape of small-scale coffee production. Led by Luca, a group of Italian roasters who routinely buy, process and sell Slow Food Presidia coffees, invites Carmen and her colleagues to a tasting session at Porza Cafe. The group meets cupping taster Pietro, who explains how different coffee species and varieties, growing environments and traditional methods all play a role in the coffee flavor. In a matter of minutes, the room is filled with the aromatic complexity of the farmer's combined coffee. It's not just a flavor experience, but a moment of shared identity, good, clean, and fair. Indeed, in the journey from farm to cup, roasters, cupping tasters, and baristas all become producers of the Presidia themselves, alongside the coffee growers. Farmers, roasters, and baristas learn from cupping tasters that the ability to discern flavor and quality ensures that consumers experience the best possible version of their coffee. Barista Sofia, in her advocacy-driven role, contributes to shaping consumer demand for high-quality, ethically sourced coffee. As the group bonds over cups of coffee, the conversation shifts to the challenges of transparency and traceability throughout the whole coffee value chain. The group recognizes that without these elements, much of their work in a supply chain remains invisible to consumers. Luca sees the potential. Transparency and traceability can be the key to elevating their coffee to consumers, ensuring they know where it comes and the stories behind each bean. These concepts can easily become available to consumers through a QR code printed on each coffee bag. Before leaving Terra Madre 2012, producers share emails and plant a symbolic coffee tree, representing their commitment to the Presidia coffee brand. But will their story, much like the seeds that grow and flourish, inspire a new relational model of coffee supply chain worldwide? In the heart of Turin, Italy, the 2022 Slow Food Terra Madre Festival opens its doors to the Slow Food Coffee Coalition. Born from a collaboration between Slow Food and Lavazza Foundation in 2021, the initiative aims to create a new model for sustainable relationships in the coffee supply chain. At the heart of this model is the Participatory Guarantee System, PGS, a farmer-driven certification that gives growers an active voice in defining quality and sustainability. Matteo, a skilled barista at the San Domenico Coffee, is excited. He books in advance a place at the first official meeting of the Coffee Defenders Network of Baristas. He feels that much of the industry obscures the origins of coffee, treating it just like a commodity. Matteo arrives at Terra Madre, eager to learn how PGS is transforming the coffee industry. He spots a familiar face, Sofia, a barista from Porza Cafe in Turin. They had crossed paths before, and Sofia's work with Guatemalan farmers always inspired him. They are introduced to Alitha, a barista from Cuba's Slow Food BioCuba Café Frente Oriental, who explains how PGS is being used to promote organic coffee farming in her country. PGS, she says, allows producers to certify their coffee quality and sustainability through collective engagement rather than relying on external, top-down certification systems. Alitha explains how farmers, roasters, cupping tasters, and baristas are all involved in the PGS process, creating an ecosystem of mutual trust through blockchain technology. We are among the first communities embraced by the Slow Food Coffee Coalition to use this technology, she says. And thanks to that, baristas are now able to articulate better their narratives and share their stories with consumers, adding a deeper layer of meaning to every cup. As far as I know, says Matteo, despite being the first roastery to use blockchain for traceability in a coffee supply chain, San Domenico has not developed a full PGS scheme. The same with Etiga Coffee, isn't it, says Sofia, referring to the blend made with wild coffee from the Ethiopia Harena forest and the Huehuetenango Highlands coffee in Guatemala. I am witness to how complex and time-consuming the task of implementing a slow food PGS scheme is, says Alitha. PGS guidelines need to be locally adapted. And sometimes, the slow food PGS has to compete with other coffee certification schemes. But most of all, I can testify to the invaluable educational and profitable contribution of the slow food PGS effort. The three baristas agree they have a long journey of learning and shared responsibility ahead. As Matteo leaves Coffee Defenders, he feels empowered. He's no longer just a barista. He's a storyteller, an advocate, a defender of coffee's true value. And he is not alone.